Hello and welcome to episode 4 of UoR Voice. I am your host Izzy. I am a second year art and psychology student and I am joined by...
I am Siba, a second year consumer behavior and marketing student.
Great. And we will be joined by Akash at some point in the podcast. He will just appear, but he's not here at the moment. UoR Voice is the University of Reading's and Reading Student Union official student podcast, led by students for students. This is the place to come for information about everything University of Reading and university life. You can expect to hear about topics such as study, well-being, student finance and more. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about our experiences of Welcome Week. We'll be diving into topics such as establishing a routine, expectations versus reality, and managing finances. So, let's start with expectations versus reality. So, but what was an expectation you had of Welcome Week that was brutally shattered by reality, let's say?
Is that social media is never true.
Mm.
I followed a bunch of YouTube videos, Instagram accounts who were in the UK, day in the life, Welcome Week, freshers party. Well, it didn't turn out to be like that because, one, you have to settle in, and settling in a different country is very difficult if you don't know anyone. I was very fortunate though, that I made friends quickly. And in short, I would say Freshers Week was a blast for me. Every day going out, but the consequence was I got a bad freshers flu. And that lasted me, I don't know, like a week because I couldn't talk. I was bad. It was bad. I don't even want to talk about it at this point. Yeah, it was horrible. Since that day, I started wearing jackets when I'm going out because I used to not wear jackets because I used to pretend, it doesn't look that cool. And, I started putting my health over fashion after my freshers flu.
That's something interesting that I haven't heard before.
Yeah,
You're learning practicality over fashion.
That is
from
true.
Freshers Week.
And now, that's because I live in the Middle East where the
Right,
temperatures are 40 degrees. So, coming here in the UK was a big change in temperature for me. And my body, I think, was not used to the cold. I don't know. But then I started putting health over fashion.
Yeah, smart. Very smart.
Yeah, how did it go for you?
For me, I had a bit of a different experience, honestly. I wasn't out every night. I took it quite easy during Freshers Week.
That's smart.
It kind of, yeah. I mean, I think it sometimes can be difficult to meet people during Freshers Week.
That is true.
There's actually not that much structure. There's a lot of stuff going on. There are a lot of events.
Yeah.
But unlike the rest of your university life where you have lectures and everything, it's all completely self-guided and it's all so new and all so scary. And you feel like you have to go out and meet as many people as you possibly can because you're going to meet your people, you're going to meet your best friends for life. And if you don't do it now, then you're never going to meet anyone. And that's not true. The people that I met during Freshers Week, based on expectations that I had, I thought these are going to be my best friends for life. Okay, that's what this is now. Okay, cool. You guys are fun. Sure. I have not spoken to those people since then. Like, no hard feelings. It's just, they just weren't really my people. The random first people that you meet. And I met the friends who I'm close with now the week after and the weeks following on my course and when I actually started getting into more of a routine. So I'd expected Freshers Week to be the big time where I was meeting lots and lots of people, and I didn't. I had the first couple of days of going out and had an okay time, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the whole point of Freshers Week is, they want us to engage with different people, make friends. But I feel it's very much a singular activity.
Yeah.
Because you don't know anyone.
You're so right, yeah. You're going out and doing all these things with other people, but yeah, you're doing it by yourself. It's the first time you're independent, really, for a lot of people. And you're just getting to know people. But it feels like, I need to find my people as soon as I can. I need to make these close friendships as soon as I can. But that's not what that week is really for.
That's true. Clubs are not the best place to interact with someone.
No, they're not. They're loud. And
they're
everyone,
very loud.
Well, not everyone. Most people are a bit drunk. It can be fun, but yeah. It takes time to make those close connections with people.
It does take time, yeah.
And you're not necessarily going to find those in Freshers Week. So,
Do you reckon alcohol leads to good friendships?
not necessarily. I don't think it's got much to do with good friendships. It can give you fun times with friends, and it can not. I don't think it's really a factor. I think people are still who they are.
That's true. But don't you think when alcohol gets into your body, you stop overthinking. I feel like the barrier to entry, like when you talk to someone, becomes easier because they're not caring much, nor are you. So I mean, you're being as transparent as possible, and I think in friendship, honesty and integrity is very important.
That's true. I do definitely find that when I've had alcohol, yes, a lot more social anxiety goes away, and I feel like I can talk to anyone. I want to talk to anyone.
That is true.
But when it comes to actual friendship, I don't think it has so much of a factor. I feel like I can connect with people easier because, yes, as you say.
That's true.
But I don't think I've actually formed much closer friendships out of that. I think the friends that I have out of just us being compatible people, not just that we've had drunk nights out and understand each other better on that level because of it. I think the people that I've been drunk around and are not my friends, I understand to be, oh yeah, you're not my friend still. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes 100% sense. I don't know. I might have something, but that's so different from what you said. I feel when let's say you have ingested a load of alcohol and you are drunk, but you don't go out with these people. So I think this is a personal anecdote. I was really drunk once, and I think it was at the start of first year. I think we were talking September, October.
Right.
And because I got so drunk, I ended up, I think, calling one of my flatmates, who I just met very recently. I didn't even know this person well, but I ended up calling just to say, if anything, because we were on the same floor, right? If anything happens. So, I was more like, like a patient to this person because this person treated me very well.
Yeah.
And I think because of, helping me out.
That's true, yeah.
I think that just created the friendship. And then obviously we started talking about different things, getting to know one another. And till now we're very good friends. I mean, I would consider that person a family.
Yeah, that's lovely. But I think I would categorize that under shared experience rather than alcohol. Shared experience is something that is so, so, so crucial for friendships. And that's why I think making friends on your courses and slowly just working alongside each other and in societies, just doing stuff alongside each other, experiencing things together instead of just trying to go out and just talking at people about who you are, which is a lot of Freshers Week. Like, oh, what do you study? Where are you from? You don't really get far with that, but these real friendships are formed out of shared experience. So that's something to follow through with throughout first year, really. You make these connections in Freshers Week or in the first couple of weeks. You then want to just be sharing these experiences with someone. And that's great with uni because there's lots of experiences to go out and share.
That is true. I think common interest finds soulmates.
Yeah, and going out and maybe ending up in situations where someone needs to look after the other person.
Yeah.
Those kinds of situations, you're right. That really does make connections.
That really does make connections.
Don't make yourself so drunk that people need to look after you too.
Oh, no.
That's not what we're trying to say.
I'm not doing that. But what I'm trying to essentially say is that you need to get into the psychology of a person emotionally and spiritually in order to make a very good friend.
Yeah.
And if you can tap into that, you just got a best friend. I don't know, a wife or a husband. I don't know what life takes you to.
How many people do find their not like soulmates, their spouses, their partners, lifelong partners at uni? That feels like a rare thing.
I don't know, because if you think about it, you're in the uni for 3 years, and if you found the right person let's say in your first year, and you're spending a very good time, let's say she or he is in your course, you go to the same society, and I think you're spending a lot of time to get to know one another. and you don't you have the freedom to do anything. You don't have restrictions if you think about it, because you're in another country. And I think that gives you the ability to just figure things out. But I don't know, again, it depends person to person. You ideally want to find someone. I personally think you can find someone in the library, because they are all studious and studying, and I
Library crushes.
I don't know. This is just the perspective. But I wouldn't find someone at the club or at a restaurant. Maybe library is a nice place, because you both are studying.
Yeah, go and find yourself a cute library boyfriend. That's not what I'm trying to do. Something else I wanted to bring up. Now we've talking about libraries. I want to talk about how easy it is to go and study together. Once you start your course, you've done Freshers Week, the challenge of Freshers Week. Well done, you've made it. And now you're making friends on your course, and maybe other friends elsewhere too, because we're all students, we all study.
Yeah.
Go and study with people. It's such an easy way to just go and make closer connections, spend time together. There's not really much pressure to talk because you've got work to do, but then you can just chat, and chat just forms because you don't want to work. You could just chat to each other. And you can just spend more time together, no pressure. Sometimes it feels a bit difficult. You're making these initial connections. Sometimes it feels a bit difficult to reach out and actually say, I want to spend more time with this person. I don't know if they want to spend more time with me. That's scary. Very simple things like grabbing a coffee and studying, or going to the library and studying, can just be really, really easy and effective ways of making closer connections.
I mean, that is true. You don't, it's very hard to understand if the other person accepts you. And I think in that kind of situation, you kind of get the intuition if the other person is trying to avoid you or doesn't want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
It's very subtle, but then you get the gut feeling. I get the gut feeling if I feel that I don't like the person, or the other person doesn't like me. And I think I would appreciate if I keep my distance, because I don't want to bother him. And I think I will try to look out for different people. Again, I mean, the library is massive. There's like 5 floors. It's beautiful. There's so many people. You can just have a chat with someone at the cafe, or I usually go to the 5th floor to study. So, I mean, you can't talk there. So I'm just like focused on my laptop. But otherwise, library is a great place to socialize, though.
Yeah, definitely. Can you think of any other expectations you had of Freshers Week? Anything that actually did live up to the expectation, maybe?
I think it's a lot to do with just, people say the challenge and the difficulty of just getting into uni. Just being able to maybe cook, doing your own laundry, doing your own bed, studying, gym. You just have to time management of everything is very tough. And I think I personally kind of faced that initially, because I didn't know how to, as you mentioned before, there's no structure, because you are the god here. You need to make the structure. And I think it's a lot to do with just, I think that was one expectation which kind of, I'm still in the process of, accepting that, okay, uni is not, it's a lot to do with discipline. And I think every Instagram reel or YouTube reels I watched was talking about, I think it's a lot to do with you and how you maneuver your way in university.
Yeah.
And I think other people might be there. They'll support you, but I think it's you who makes the decisions.
Yeah. One expectation I want to talk about that I had from seeing all of this really, really helpful advice on Instagram and TikTok and things like that from lovely people in our position now, reflecting on their experiences. And one thing that I was very nervously expecting was loneliness. A lot of people talked about this very honestly, saying first year and especially first term, all of this stuff, it can feel really, really lonely. And I was still so scared of that, knowing that I would probably feel lonely at some point, entering into Freshers Week, not having an amazing time and thinking, I'm going to end up feeling lonely. And at some points I did, because you're making close friends, you're trying to make close friends. But in first term, those really haven't formed that much.
Yeah.
Unless you're like, you really, really intensely clinging to someone. Actually, that doesn't sound very nice. But if you're having a very like intense close friendship with someone in the first term, great. But actually, a lot of the time, everyone is trying to figure it out themselves, and you do end up feeling a bit lonely. Do you think you felt a bit lonely at some points?
I remember before coming to the UK, I thought, what if I feel lonely? But, I just try to have a very optimistic outlook that I won't. I was very fortunate that I took the meal plan.
Yeah.
And I was staying in a uni accom. So I think it really helped me to just make a lot of friends. I think I would say in my first year, I made most of my friends in Parkute.
Really?
That's because, it was such a great place to socialize. When you're getting food, whoever's in front of you or behind you, you could just have a chat with them. And I think that's how it started for me, Or maybe you go to a table, and then if it's all packed, then someone has to come in that table. And then, you're forced to have a conversation with the other person. I don't know, I just had a very broad mindset about that, because I knew I didn't have friends then, right? So I needed to and I didn't want to, be lonely, because I really wanted to create the experiences, the excitement was real. So, I always took that, extra mile as well to just, to do things, to make friends. I think I remember when I made a few friends, I think we went to Mojo's, and then I was just talking to these random people, and, just, it's not something generic, like, hi, how are you, of course you do, but something, I remember I was kind of like, I had like fruits with me, and I think I was selling them fruits. Like I was genuinely trying to market it to them.
You were at Mojo's selling people fruit?
Yes, and I think people did buy it.
They did?
Yeah, one person paid me 20 quids for one orange.
Wait, we need to divert and ask how.
That's the secret, right? £20 for one orange is a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot to do with the way you persuade. Because I'm a consumer behavior and marketing student, I tapped into the psychology of the person, and that person was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot, and then the person gave me a £20 cash.
And you just ran?
I didn't run. I accepted it with generosity.
Wait, no. I want to know specifically, what made him buy an orange from you for £20? How did that happen?
So money flows where there's high demand, right?
Right.
So you want to go to the person who's desperately looking, desperately like,
you found the man desperately looking for an orange.
Yeah, someone who was hungry, someone who needed some hydration, because orange is so like succulent and so like juicy.
Who's in Mojo's?
Yeah, that's how I essentially made friends. And I think till now, I'm still friends with those people who I sold the orange to.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that person really believed in my persuasion skill. And he was like, you did a good job, mate.
Okay. Cool story, bro. Okay. Where were we?
We were in
places to make friends and not feel lonely.
Exactly.
Mojo's take a bunch of fruit and rip people off, and they will love you for it, and they'll be your friend for life.
But I'm just saying, never use drunk people, though. Like, don't take advantage of them. Try to take advantage of sober people. Just saying, because I don't want to. I don't want to be the bad culprit, spreading bad things on this podcast.
I don't think it's too late for that.
Yeah, I think we need to do something about that. I don't know. But yeah, how did you combat loneliness afterwards, then?
Good question. And it took me a while. I'm more naturally a bit of an introverted person. I know for me, it takes me a while to feel settled. Settled in a social environment and settled generally. And so, yeah, it took a while, really. Just trying to make closer connections with the people that I was friends with. Because I was friends with a good number of people. It's just that it's not close enough. You're not close with anyone around. I think the friendships that you already have from school and things, those are also really important, because those are the close friendships that you need around you. But for me, I didn't have so much of that. So going into uni, it was like, right, okay, great. And I felt it was all very, very new. And so just trying to make closer connections with people throughout first week, second week. Shared experience played a good role in that. You know, we had bits of drama, bits of different things going on in our friendship group that actually, ultimately, that draws people together. What else did I do? Something that I've done this year, because ultimately first year for me felt a little bit lonely. But this year, I joined a sports society.
Oh, that's great.
I joined volleyball, and I'm so happy. At first, it was really nerve-wracking, and I remembered at the trial sessions why I was too scared to do it the year before, because I didn't join a society in first year because I was too scared. Went to the trial sessions. It was a bit nerve-wracking. Take a friend if you're ever feeling a bit nervous about going to these things, because they are busy. People take their friends and things. But it was so much fun. And then I signed up, and oh my goodness, it's just great. Societies are great.
Yeah, they do conduct a lot of socials. I mean, you do have so much of interaction with one another.
And having, different groups of people to be friends with, having a wide range of people that you're friends with. Sometimes if you're just stuck with the people on your course, not stuck with, obviously, I'm not stuck with the people on my course, but if you're just friends with people from your course, then that's one type of people. Go out and be adventurous, and you meet lots of different types of people, especially in sports societies, because that's the place people go to from wherever to come and just play a bit of sport and have a bit of fun. And they do great socials.
Yeah, I can't lie. They look like a family, like a massive family.
It is,
going out, I don't know, to Spoons, to the theatres, to the bar, to the club. It seems like massive.
Would highly recommend sports societies. I don't quite know because I don't have much experience with like other societies, but there's something about sports societies where they really do come together, put a lot of effort in to make epic socials and have a good, really, you're right, like family feel.
That's true. That's true.
It's really good.
I mean, the secret to combat loneliness is join a society, and I can't even. Like, I'm not even lying at this point. I've joined a couple of societies this year, and I think I've met so many new people, had some really nice experiences, and got to know one another. So, join a society. Join
a society. Try something that you never thought you would try. They are brilliant, and I think one thing I felt nervous about in first year was trying something that I hadn't tried before and being terrible at it. Don't feel like that. Because there are so many people going into these societies who have no idea how to play volleyball. That was me. I was told the other day I'm the most improved, said by the coach, the bar rec. Nice. I was really terrible at the start, and I'm just a bit slightly less terrible now. I still can't overarm serve over the net, but then so can't a lot of people, and it's fine. And there are so many societies that have like specific beginners groups, which is what I'm in. And you can just mess around. Well, not really. You shouldn't mess around. Take it seriously. But you can just have fun. Don't need to be competitive. I'm not competitive. And go for the social aspect of it and just to have fun.
I think you should never be fearful. I think there's a beautiful quote which actually summarizes what I'm trying to say, is that the journey is more important than the destination.
Yeah.
And I think I joined a table tennis society, and my story was like that. I was not very good at table tennis because there's so many talented people in this university. But then from September till now, I have improved exponentially. And I think the people who are really good, they have also told me that I've improved really well, and I think I can beat a few other people. And I think that's just, so motivating, and the confidence you just get. I think just, that you have improved so much. And I think, if you become confident, I think you can conquer the world.
Yeah. Confidence is important. And confidence comes from challenging yourself.
That is true.
Go out and do it.
Yeah, just get out. Like, take the baby step. That's what I said.
Yeah. Take little baby steps. You'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we should be moving on now. Section 2, finding your routine. We want to talk a bit more about following on from Welcome Week, because Welcome Week doesn't really have a routine, as we have covered. Yeah. So what do you do when you actually have a routine, you have lectures, you settling down into university life. Have you got any advice for that, Siba?
I can't even lie. I think before coming to the uni, I watched a bunch of Instagram reels and YouTube, of how people actually navigate university life. So I think the first 2 weeks, I tried to follow their routine. I wanted to see if it works. Wake up, do some yoga and meditation, go to lectures, have lunch, come back, do some studies, gym. The night was for fun. But I can't lie, I tried to, do that. But then I realized later on that schedule doesn't fit me because I needed to wake up early. But I used to sleep late because I used to be out. And I had this thought of FOMO, fear of missing out of the first year.
Yeah.
Because you're coming to uni, it's a new experience. You want to experience each and every bit. And if you're at home, I used to feel, bro, I am missing. I'll probably be depressed. So I used to do everything, but I used to sleep late, and then waking up was very tough for me in the morning. So I needed to change up things.
Yeah.
I think initially I thought about, I took a paper and wrote down what my goals and aspirations are, what I really want to do, what I want to achieve at the end of the university. So I wrote them down, and then I was like, I have to follow the schedule. So I started waking up a bit late, not very late, a bit late. We're talking 9, 9:30, 10. But if I have lectures, I have to wake up early. But if I didn't, I would wake up around 9, 10. I would make myself a smoothie.
Nice.
I would skip breakfast, make myself a smoothie because that's so filling, and then that will keep me satiated till lunch. Go for lunch, with a few friends, have a nice chat with them. And then if I do have work, I'll come back either to my room or I'll go library. Depends, if I feel bored in my room studying, then I would definitely go to the library. It's a great place to study, can't lie. Spend some time there, then I think go for dinner or go to the gym if I've done my work early, and then dinner, and then spend time with your friends. And I think that's my whole routine. If I do have to go somewhere out, let's say a club, then I will prioritize my studies. So I think it's a lot to do with prioritization, like what you want to achieve and how you want to do it. Because when I start the work, I want to finish it. I don't want to keep it for the future because that's just a pain in the ass afterwards. So I think it's a lot to do with what you want to do, and you want to reflect that on your identity as well.
Interesting.
What about you? What are your secrets? I mean, spill the beans at this point.
Spill the beans. Okay, I think, yes, it's very, very individual what schedule is going to work for you. So, yes, give lots of different things a try. For me, what works is that I try not to stay in my house. I have ADHD, which for me means that when I am home, I can't work. I don't know why. It's just I can't work at home. I get too distracted, I daydream, and I just can't do it. I will sit there for hours not doing anything. I don't know why. So I try to keep myself out of my house for the whole day. So I'll take in my lunch. There's a microwave in the art department, and I will try to get in, a key word here is try to get in for 9-ish each day, so that the routine is just there. Because waking up for 9 a.m. specifically is really hard. So if you're just doing it, if it's just part of your routine, your everyday routine, it's a lot easier. Getting myself either to art or to the library, that's generally what I'm doing. Setting myself up a schedule the day before, so that when I'm half asleep getting into uni at 9, I know exactly what I'm doing straight away and I don't have to think about it. Doing notes, lecture notes, art stuff, things like that. Break at art, eating my lunch, and then more study, more lectures, that kind of vibe. What else do I do? There are more study spaces than the library.
That is true.
That is something really important, and so important to me now. It is exam assignment time at the moment, and the library gets full.
Yeah.
So there are so many other study rooms, like in department buildings.
Yeah.
I think there's a study room in most apartment buildings, actually.
Oh, no, they do definitely have. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
So go out and find all these different places. Find what best works for you, what kind of study space works for you. I like the silent study areas in the library because noise, I can't do noise, people chattering.
Yeah.
And that works for me. How did you find your routine with food then, especially in first year when you had your meal plan?
Yes.
How much of your meal plan was it? That's not a question. What I'm trying to ask, how many of your meals were meal plan and how much did you cook for yourself?
Should I use, you mean the meal plan?
Yeah.
I think, so I ended up taking Platinum meal plan because I was like, I need to get the nutritions in.
Right.
But I feel like I think I had maybe once or twice a day, at Park Eat or Eat at the Square or wherever they accept the meal swipe. So I think it was once or twice, and I think most of the time I didn't. Okay, so I used to live in Windsor in my first year. So now if you think about it, Windsor doesn't have a gas stove, an induction. It does not have that, so you can't cook in Windsor.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, because every accom has that facility except Windsor. So Windsor essentially wanted you to, get out and go to Park Eat, give them money. So, they really wanted the money. So I think for me, it was a lot to do with takeouts. I used to go for Turkish or Lebanese, the Arabic food because it's it's not too spicy, but it's really tasty. And something, I've again grown up in the Middle East my whole life, so I think the taste buds really fit well. Cooking came towards the kind of the end, not end, but mid of my first year when I made friends in different accom and who had kitchen.
Yeah.
So then we all used to cook as a group, but otherwise it was more takeouts and more of Parky, Dairy, at the Square, or whatever, whoever accepts the meal swipe.
Looking back, would you change that then? Your accommodation, would you choose to have accommodation with a hob or kitchen that you could actually cook stuff for yourself in?
Actually, I always thought about it, but then I always was so grateful for Park Eat because it used to save me so much of time. Like, I don't have the cooking time, so I could, do whatever in that time. It doesn't matter, maybe it's reading something, or if it's, calling your family, or if it's hitting the gym for longer, meditating, whatever, you could do something about it. So I was very grateful about it. I mean, obviously, if you do have the option to cook, and sometimes you really want to cook and you want to eat something of, or something of you cooking. But I don't know, actually, because I've never lived in an accom. No, I mean, I've lived in an accom where there is kitchen, but then I always end up taking the meal plan just in case because it will save me so much of time. I think for me, time is money at this point. And I think cooking is great. And I do cook with a few of my friends once or twice a week, but then I can't do that on a daily basis because you really have to plan your day so well. Yeah. And I'm assuming you cook all of your meals.
So I was always, I didn't do meal plan last year. And this year, of course, I'm still just cooking my own stuff. And at first, that was a lot. That was annoying and a bit overwhelming of having to think every day, multiple times a day, what am I going to make? What am I going to eat? I'm fine with it now. I just figure it out. And actually, I think it can be something that can be really enjoyable. I have this thing called Epic Meals where I'll make something really nice for dinner. Like, I'll plan to make something very good, like pizza from scratch or a roast or something for my dinner and I'll get so excited about it. Like, I'll plan the day, it will be this day I'm going to make this thing. And I'll be so excited for it, and I'll make a whole big deal about it, and I'll send photos of it to my parents to be like, look at what I made. So that's great, and I could challenge myself to make new things.
That's true.
So I think, try and make something fun out of it, and look at new recipes and things like that. So
will I see you working in some restaurant in the UK where I go?
No, I'll just make food for myself. I can't imagine making food for a kitchen. That is too stressful.
That is
But
stressful,
yeah, it's stressful enough cooking for one person. I've found out.
Oh yeah, it's stressful to cook for anyone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen too many Gordon Ramsay videos, so I know the pressure.
Yeah. I do want to raise a little bit of awareness for. We do have a UoR cooking student series on Instagram, I think. So that's got lots of lovely recipes and tips for.
Did you take tips
cooking.
from there?
I did it. I did.
Oh wow! Because as you know, I never cook, so I did not end up seeing that earlier. But I think I will start taking some tips and tricks from this Instagram.
Yeah, do it. Of course, lots of other resources to look out for. Student cooking on a budget. Yes, I would highly recommend it because it used to be difficult and annoying and overwhelming to try and figure it all out, but actually now it's so easy and I enjoy it. And there are lots of meals that are so familiar to me now that I just go home and make them without thought, and it's just easy. Great. And cheap too. Yeah.
Does it actually save you a lot of money cooking?
Oh, yeah. It's if you batch cook as well, you only have to actually put the effort in of cooking one night, and then you have 4 other meals that you can put in the freezer. And then that's my favorite thing.
Yeah, that does.
Oh, so good.
That's like a freezer is, I don't know, it's like
a
love
godsend.
of God. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, I still my freezer in the kitchen is full. Like, there's just so much things, so much of food. Just in case after maybe a night out or a bad study sesh, if you want to cook, that's like a dreamline for me.
Yeah. Let's think about routine specifically for studying. Then I know we've talked about this a little bit, but I know for me it's very easy to get behind with lectures and all of the content and stuff. How have you managed that? How have you created a routine to manage all of the work that you've got to do?
I mean, the truth is, it is overwhelming, the amount of things they tell in uni. But in every lecture, there's just so much of content, and the attention span reduces. I mean, let's say if it's a 2-hour lecture, I can't sit 2 hours absorbing 100% of it. Efficiency is going to drop. What I really do is, I don't know, I try to read books which are recommended rather. Read something, I don't know, either, with the use of AI and everything.
Oh, yeah.
This has helped me so much because let's say I don't understand a topic, I'm just going to ask ChatGPT or something to summarize it as a 5-year-old. So, it's very it's very easy language for me to understand everything.
Yeah.
And saves me so much of time, but I'm also getting the info. So I think I use the artificial intelligence and just technology so much to my advantage. But as you said, how do I plan my day? I think obviously I do fall back, and I think sometimes you have to compensate. Maybe some other day you just have to put in the extra hours, maybe 2-3 hours more, or maybe you got to sacrifice a few of your holidays. But then I still trying to think, what's the most important things I need to know? If I feel it's irrelevant, and if it's something which is just yapping, then I'm not going to put so much effort. I will try to put effort and distill my energy where I feel has the highest ROI. Right. But again, it's very subjective. I have a very different study pattern to my friends, I could say.
Yeah. And I think specifically I want to ask about how you found this routine at the start of uni. Learning is so different at uni than what it's like at school. And how did you build a routine around that?
I think, I think back in my school, when I was in year 13, it was so much like university.
Right, okay.
And I felt like the school just prepared me for this day. So I think, I think one thing stayed the same for me is that I try to create a rapport with the professor at the start of the year. So, if they have any problems, I can email this guy or her. If I need references, I can again do that. So I think it was a lot to do with just creating rapport and everything. But otherwise, yeah, I'm sorry. What's the question?
No, it's just finding a routine, making a routine when this study life is so different from what we're used to. But if you're saying actually your school
They did prepare me well.
prepared you well,
Yeah.
then that's great.
I think that just sorts out everything. And I think it just gives you so much independence to do whatever you want to study in how much of a depth. And I think this is what I really love about the university, is that you can study so much and just, put that, let's say you have an exam, you can use all that information and put it into your exam, just have strong arguments to back it up. But it's not like school where we follow like a curriculum and where we're just confined to that. I think that's what I love so much about the university.
That was something I found really overwhelming at the start, was that all of this knowledge, all of this information can just expand beyond to anywhere. I remember the first time trying to do my lecture notes in the library and falling down a massive rabbit hole of all of this different research, because it just felt like I need to write about all of this is relevant. And so my routine became really chunking that up, going down in layers and revising over the content and slowly adding more to it. It is really overwhelming when you have all of this content that you could cover. Yes, you don't have a textbook now that you just look at and that's it, like you had with your exam boards and things in school. And so just layering your study, layering your knowledge instead of just trying to learn it all at once. That was my routine.
That's a pretty fair, good routine. I actually wanted to ask, because now you mentioned that you make notes and you study, but how much time do you dedicate a day?
I don't know. It varies. I'm not very good at keeping up a routine with my notes, because it feels like something that's not, I think you've mentioned this before, of trying to prioritize things and things that have deadlines. That's so tricky, because your personal notes, that doesn't really have a deadline right until where I am now, where I've got an assessment in a week and I'm very behind with my notes. So try and keep up with them. Try and write my lecture notes before the lecture so that I actually have an idea about what's going on in it. And then revisiting that stuff over and over again over the following weeks and months.
That is true. You have to revisit your notes, else you're going to forget that.
Yeah. But this amount of time that I spend doing it, that really varies. Something that really seems to surprise me every time, how long it takes even just to write the basic lecture notes from a 2-hour lecture takes forever. So I underestimated that severely at the start, expecting, a 2-hour lecture, that will take me 2 hours to write all the notes. No, it won't. That'll take you a day. Good luck.
Yeah, I know, it takes so much time. So
cut out a good amount of time for it. It is so important. I think it's underestimated. I know I underestimated it for a while. Even the basic stuff.
I stayed up nights and nights to complete my notes with coffee, espresso. Oh my God, it was like horrible. And then afterwards, I had started prioritizing, because if I made notes for everything, I wouldn't get time to do this podcast. That's how busy I was. That's how busy.
Yeah, you're right. Prioritizing things. If anyone listening is going to be doing or is doing a joint degree, this is something that I found especially challenging, balancing art and psychology. You have so many different things going on, and certainly sometimes one subject appeals more than the other. And you might find this as well just with modules, that one just draws you in and you want to do all the work for it. How do you balance doing all your different subjects and your modules? I don't know. I'm asking this question to you, Subo, if you've got any advice for me, because I struggle with it.
I mean, your subject is more tougher than mine, because for you, one's creativity and the other one is a lot of theory. I'm assuming psychology is very theory-based.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I had the same question for you, but I'll answer mine. So I do consumer behavior and marketing. Yeah. And consumer behavior, in short, is behavioral economics. It's economics and marketing. So it does come in under the same realm of commerce. the world of business, the world
Yeah.
of money. So I think a lot of my modules were very much intertwined with one another. So I never really felt that it was very different from one another. I did in my first year, I did have a couple of modules which like psychology, consumer psychology, which is business psychology, but there was just so much of theory in it. And but I think for me, I was very lucky that I picked a course which the modules were very much intertwined. So it really I didn't have to study a lot about different things, because if I studied one module well or one topic well, it would somehow reflect on the other module as well. We do have a lot of coding and computer science in my module, but again, I was fortunate enough that I had computer science in GCSE, and I did some coding in when I was in A levels as well. So again, very fortunate. I was just the lucky individual who had that skills beforehand. But I want to ask you, because art and psychology, oh my word, because I know in A levels both of the subjects are immensely hard. That's why I never took them for A levels.
It is a challenge. I'm now thinking back to first year about when I was first going to manage these two subjects, and of course I studied both at A level 2 alongside English literature, and so I felt like, okay, yeah, I know how to balance subjects anyway, it should be fine. But actually, from studying these two things at university, when you're getting into more depth, especially with art, I think, I found it so difficult to do both subjects on the same day, especially with art being such big project work, being so creative. I learned I needed to have an art day and a psychology day, where I'd be in these two different spaces, two different schools of thought. I think that's how I want to describe it. But bouncing between the two actually was really, really challenging, because I needed time with art to settle in and be thinking creatively. And then I needed lots of time with psychology to be making these, I was going to swear, we're not going to swear, making these silly little lecture notes that take forever. It's two different parts of my brain, and balancing it is tricky, especially when you're going into such depth and you need to be accessing your really, really creative side quite intensely. Bouncing between them was really challenging. So just having an art day and a psychology day separately was really helpful.
And that I can understand that. I'm assuming psychology was a lot of science as well.
Yeah, that's a lot of science, a lot of research methods.
Yeah, did you do A levels biology by any chance?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, then it must be a mountain for you
It
to
was.
climb.
There was a specific module of it was called Person in the Brain. If there's any psychology students listening, they'll know Person in the Brain. It was a really fun module, actually. I ended up enjoying it. I didn't enjoy it at the start because, oh my goodness, so much difficult content to get your head around, especially when I hadn't studied biology. I had my head in a textbook for hours and hours and hours trying to figure that stuff out. And yeah, when you're bouncing between that and drawing portraits, it can be a bit too intense and you can't focus in on one thing at one time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. You kind of, it's like, switching your brain, having the creative side and then having the logical side.
Yeah.
Too much. That's why I took logical subjects. It's less
keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Yeah. Because I felt like at first I was like, I'm not sure, maybe I want to drop art, because it was just too difficult to be trying to get to this, trying to work out all this creative stuff when I had all of this psychology that I was trying to do as well. I'm so glad I didn't, because I've enjoyed art so much more this year. I've gotten into the flow of it, and that's taken time. That's also part of my routine, getting into the flow of creativity.
That is true. Time is the greatest healer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, right. Let's talk about managing finances.
All right.
That's something different.
It is very different.
But it's an important part of, I think it's an important part of getting into routine as well at university.
Yeah.
Working in how the heck you're going to manage your money. That's very tricky and a bit scary.
I think everything circulates or revolves around money. So I think it's a life skill. If you master your finances now, you're going to master your finances for life.
How do you think, as a uni student, you can master your finances?
I would say start investing early.
Right.
I think I'm just going to give you the the top secret at the start of the podcast, saying that you should invest. I mean, whatever income you get.
Invest in what?
Invest
I did know, I
in
have a friend at school that invested in Oreos. Should I invest in Oreos?
I don't know. You need to follow the data.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I would say you should start investing maybe in stock market or in crypto, whatever you feel confident in. I feel stock market you should start. Maybe,
Yeah.
but before investing, because
Yeah.
you obviously have to put in a good amount of your money, you want to
Yeah.
learn what it is first.
Okay.
And, or maybe you can, I think I was reading a book the other day, and I think this is completely deviating from the fact that I told investing, but I was reading a book called Psychology of Money by
Right.
Morgan Housel, the amazing author. He talks about finances, and he said that if you want to increase your savings, it's not to raise your income, but to raise your humility.
Right. And what do you think he means by
What that means is that people spend a lot of their money on showing off to show off to the other person who we don't even know, to the society.
Right.
Like a lot of expenses. Let's say, you bought a nice t-shirt, you bought a nice watch, you bought something nice. You want to show that you have money to the other person. You're not doing it for yourself. I mean, obviously you're happy about it, and there's just it's very motivating. But then it's to show off to the other person, and I think stop caring about that.
Yeah.
Rather spend money on what you truly find happiness in.
Right. I want to summon someone for this conversation because I think he'd be very helpful. Akash, please join us now.
Well, I do agree with his point that people sometimes impulse buy to just show off, essentially. Like, hey, I have the latest iPhone, I have the best clothes and stuff like that. It is that, but the younger generation now, at least for us and stuff like that, we don't earn that much. Like, if you look at the economy, like, we are so much worse off than our parents and our grandparents that we don't have the liberty or the luxury to just be like, hey, let's just do this. Because right now, a lot of economies, like, for example, Japan, like a lot of developed economies, like stuff like that, people don't even have enough to, like, start families, and they have declining birth rate. So it's not working with that. And saving does sound as the best option. I mean, to invest something, you probably need to have some money first. But again, the expenses are just so... Like, I looked at a graph earlier, like I think last week or something like that, which shows that, like, since the 2008 financial crisis, UK is the only developed economy which hasn't kept up. Like, the growth of the money, like the salary increase has not kept up with the world or not kept up with the rise in inflation. So people right now don't even have the money to, like, save or invest. You do make the best point, like, investing is the best option, but we don't have the, like,
money to do that.
People are barely making by. They're living paycheck to paycheck. And obviously we are uni students, so we don't see that side of that, but I personally know people who are suffering with this. So it's a very... I mean, you can always say that, like, oh, start a side business or do something like that. It's not that easy. Like, the amount of capital you require, and the UK government is making it harder and harder for like people who want to, like, start, like, small business and stuff like that, like, to get all the permits and stuff like that. It's just so expensive. Like,
money is a big struggle for university students, and so what things can we actually recommend? Practical things that we can talk about that make it a little bit easier to manage your money as a university student.
You want to go first?
Sure. I can give a personal opinion, like I have seen in my... So first year, again, starting university, I mean, I'm an international, so UK was completely new to me. And obviously way more expensive as compared to home. And so I had to start looking at ways to, like, save money. The best thing I saw was like having, like, an app. So I use this app, Klarna, which is really good to show, like, I can keep, like, oh, I would like to have, like, 200, like, whatever per month as my budget, and I don't spend over that. So it shows me that, gives me that, so I can visually. So it is a psychological trick. For example, if you have a smaller bowl and you eat that much food, your mind plays trick, and you play, like, your stomach is full with, like, less food. Same happens with money. If you see, like, oh, I'm spending this much, you have a visual conscious of spending less, and that has happened. I've also switched from going for, like, always, like, branded stuff and, like, stuff like that to, like, cheaper stuff, let's just say that. So don't always. The best example I personally have done is like, instead of going to like Waitrose or like M&S, and not Waitrose, but you get the gist of it. Like going for a bit more like Aldi or like little stuff like that, and bulk buy. Best thing.
Yes.
Saves so much money and time.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. The great thing I love, there's not an Aldi that is, I said the great thing that I love. I don't mean the great thing that I love. I don't love this. It's annoying. There is no Aldi nearby campus. It's a trek.
Yeah, it is.
So I have a big travel bag that I take with me to Aldi, that I then stock up on, march back home with a very heavy bag. But it's so worth it because it's so much cheaper.
It's so much cheaper.
So stock up on your cans and those non-refrigerator things, and that is, it's so worth it. Like all the pasta, so much cheaper. Pasta, rice, everything like that.
Yeah.
So good. Yes.
And also buying like stuff that doesn't like decay quickly. So go for more like rice options, noodle stuff like that is so much better.
Yeah.
I cannot lie about that. I think for me it comes down to just because I didn't have the problem because I had the meal plan, so it did save me that time of just buying the things and everything. For me, I think money saving comes down to, because for me I feel like everything was sorted when I came in, because I had the food sorted, I had the accom sorted. What else can I save really? And for me, I think it was just trying to limit my night outs. Or takeouts. Takeouts are a big expenditure, I feel.
Understandable.
Because you eat once, you're spending easily upwards of 11 to 12 pounds. And then if you eat continuously, that compounds to 100 pounds very easily. So I think you just have to be very prudent, but also very strategic about where you spend your money.
Yeah.
And, you really have to look at your... you have to... just give it maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. Look at your finances. Look at that income statement, just look at that, how much you're spending, and I think it gives you a very good idea. I personally don't use any of the apps, but I do use Revolut, which is like the online banking, and it does show how much you spend, how much you have spent, what's the average spending you do, and it shows a graph. So that graph is so interesting because it shows you, you have spent higher or you have spent lower than your average. So I think it's a very creative and a fun manner just to like check your finances. That's how I check my finances through that app. So shout out to Revolut.
And what ways can students make money?
I think the simple answer could be just joining part-times. Can be on campus, can be off campus. Campus jobs are more. I feel it's secured, it's safe, and it's closer to you.
Yeah.
So you really don't even have to commute that much. Yep. But again, if you don't get the opportunity to work in a campus job, then obviously you can go off campus, and there's just a plethora of opportunities here. The culture of earning while in school and university it's a culture, the side hustle culture, which I think the UK thrives in. Not many countries do, because back home in the Middle East, no one really had that culture of working. I never have seen someone, in their 17, 18 or 19-year-old working.
Yeah.
I have not seen that, but this was a big cultural shock for me. I think people working here, just being independent. I think the simple answer is getting a job. But again, if you have saved up enough money, then you start investing. As Akash mentioned earlier, you need a lot of capital in order to invest.
Yeah. Okay. I want to talk also about my experience of campus jobs, because I love it. I will promote campus jobs. There's a lot of people do bars and dining work.
Yeah.
That's really, really helpful. You just sign up for like shifts when you want them. Yeah. It's a 0 hours contract, so you don't have to work over the holidays or anything. You can just work when you can and when you want to. But it's not just bars and dining. You can work on the open days. That's really useful. You can work within a department. You can work for the university in general. Yep. I did a really fun job at the start of the year. I was filmed for B-roll for like university promo videos.
Whoa.
So you might see me in some cool University of Reading, come to University of Reading, walking through campus, smiling about something. If you see me walking past some trees, talking to someone, just know that I was talking about color theory and they were probably really annoyed at me. But that was really fun. You can do really random fun things on campus jobs. Keep your eye out on campus jobs because so many lovely little opportunities come through. You can also work within your department as something like a student partner, things like that. That's also something I do. There are so many opportunities, and that's actually just really great work experience in general for me.
Yeah.
Working, not just doing hospitality, working within a department and project work and things like that. There are so many great opportunities on campus. Another random thing I wanted to mention, one of my housemates, Louisa. Hi, Louisa, I love you. She did a dog walking job. I don't quite know where she got that from, but you probably just search out dog walking Reading or something. But she was paid to walk people's dogs, and she would bring them round to our halls, and we would say hi. I remember specifically she used to walk this black Labrador a lot of the time. He was so cute, and that was so lovely. There are so many different things you can do around which can work with your studies. It can be a bit overwhelming. Some jobs require a lot of hours, some part-time jobs still, and it's difficult to work around it. But there are lots of opportunities to make a little bit of money.
That's why I feel like it's always better to go for a campus job because they're 0-hour contract.
Yeah.
They do know that we are students. Our primary thing is university and studies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there is no forcing with that, and the pay is really good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And as you said, as you mentioned, they know their students. They are really mindful of that.
Yeah.
Which I think other employers might not be so. I know I've heard from friends that's actually just can sometimes be difficult things to navigate. When you've got a part-time job at uni. But yes, campus jobs, you can't go wrong.
Yeah. In short, you take a campus job so you can be a celebrity like a colleague, Isabel.
Yeah.
So you can be on any videos on YouTube.
You can try. But genuinely, recommend campus jobs.
Yeah.
What else can we talk about? We've got an idea here about planning for the future. Ooh, that's tricky, isn't it?
That is tricky.
When you're working day to day, you've been mentioning some stuff about investing. I feel like that falls under planning for the future because investing is more long term.
It is.
So if you can do that, then great. But what are other ways that you can try and plan for the future while you're at university?
No, you should go first.
Well, this is something that I picked up during my placement year last year, which was just having tiny bits of money saved in a savings account. Right. I mean, it shouldn't be a lot. I'm not telling you to spend keep aside £10,000 something small, £10 per month, £20 per month, something like that. It compounds, and at the end of the year, you will also get some interest. It's not going to be again a massive chunk of money, maybe £50, £100, something like that. But those little things, they add up. And once you are at the end of the year, you will have £200 to £500, something like that, at your disposal, which again, you can either invest, you can keep saving it, or you can just spend it on the new pair of shoes that you've been eyeing.
Yeah.
So it's really up to you. I feel like it's a habit I picked up a bit late, but I feel like it is a really good habit to have.
Yeah. I think also something with planning for the future is summer work. So that's another way that you can make money and then plan your year ahead.
Yeah.
Collecting up a little stash. Yeah. Maybe while you're at home or working in Reading because you've got accommodation here as well. That's great because then you don't have to balance that with your studies. And then you can plan for the future of your following year and have a budget set up based on the amount that you've made in the summer.
Absolutely.
Have either of you had any summer work over the past couple of years that's helped you with uni?
Well, so in my first year, I did graduation, and since it was the COVID backlog, so they had a huge, the entire month was for graduation. I saved up enough to buy a PC.
Nice.
So it is good money. It was grueling hours, but it was so worth it.
Great.
And second year I didn't have the chance to do that because straight after exams I had my placement, so I didn't get to have a summer. And after that I had final year, so again didn't have the chance to do that. But if you do get the chance, again, as we were, I feel like we're just hype men for campus job at this point, but
of course, happily.
But they are so good because they need a lot of people to do stuff during summer, and most of the students are gone home or out of country somewhere, and there are jobs. So you apply to anything and you're 100% guaranteed to get something, and it's just free money.
That's new. That's new knowledge
true.
to me that they've still got campus
shit.
jobs over the summer. I will
I
keep an
didn't
eye.
know. I did
we
not
we
know
get
about
summer
that.
off. Like university is still open. They probably
Yeah.
get like a week or two off, but they are still open. They are a
That
business
is
at the end
true.
of this. So you might get like your choice. If not just bars and dinings, you could work admin. You could work like in some team or something like that. You can
Yeah.
work as ambassador. It's just free money waiting for you, and you
Amazing.
don't have the whatever like time limit is like you can only work like 20 hours something
Oh
like that.
yeah, that's something about
Yeah.
campus jobs. You work maximum
That is-
20 hours.
You get
you can work, I think, above 20, right?
yeah you can work then the legal limit, which is like
Which is
37
30,
hours
yeah,
something like
40
that.
hours.
There are ways to
Yeah,
just remove the limit as well.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just sign a contract with them saying campus job is not forcing you to do
Yeah.
that. I did that in my first year, and you can work like 60, 70 hours, like whatever you want.
Are you planning to stay in Reading for the summer then?
I am. I'm planning to stay in Reading and get a summer job.
That is wise.
It is wise. I'm being wise this year.
Reading Festival is also coming up, and they are already
Yeah.
looking for headcount there. So
Oh,
Whoa, this guy
good
has
shout.
the news. This guy
Yeah.
has the news.
Yeah, there are so many opportunities in Reading.
Yeah.
It's great. Also being
Yeah.
so close to London. If
Yeah.
you're looking for any cool internship experiences, then
Yeah.
good access. Really good access.
I delve more into internships, but not in the
Mm.
UK because every time there's a holiday, I'm off the country. So, but then I do undertake all of that work elsewhere, wherever I am. So yeah, I think that's how I make my money. But I feel the pay is a little bit more better here for someone who's in late teens than in other parts of the world.
Okay, yeah. So, to wrap it up, that is how we feel that you might make it a little bit easier to manage finances during university. It's still one of the biggest challenges that students face, and there's no easy answer. But there are a good number of little answers that might be able to help you along the way. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. And we will see you in the next episode, which will be about something, I don't know.
Looking forward to that.
Very much looking forward to that. Looking forward to the next episodes to come. And I hope you have a great rest of your day wherever you are.